There's something I've been thinking about. It's a question, really, and one that I think a lot of people, at least 75 million Americans, have been asking themselves as of late, which is there any upside to President Trump being gone? Is there a silver lining that we can cling on to? When Joe Biden was inaugurated president of the United States, it was difficult for me, normally the eternal optimist, to see anything that could be construed as a positive. Biden has made his intention clear to undo virtually everything that his predecessor had done in office, which means that America First is transforming into America Last. And he's wasted no time making good on that agenda, announcing within the first few weeks his efforts to legalize millions of undocumented immigrants. He also moved pretty quickly to lay waste to women's sports, confirming his intention to withhold federal funds from any institution that does not allow biological men to compete against women. I was just 2 weeks postpartum when the madness of this administration's agenda began to unfold, and so I had resolved to take a break from social media because my life as a first-time mother had plenty transformation enough without the added stress of a country on the brink of radicalization. So 2 months later, on the day that I finally worked up the nerve to sink myself back into the political wasteland that is Twitter, I was rather shocked to discover that the top trending hashtags were pertaining to Greta Thunberg and Andrew Cuomo, and they were not favorable. Hashtag Greta Thunberg exposed and hashtag Cuomo lied. Those were the trending topics. Perhaps more surprising was the fact that these negative hashtags were not being perpetuated by right-wing voices, but by left-leaning publications and activists. I quickly learned that Greta Thunberg was being taken to task by citizens of India for a rather amusing blunder. She had accidentally tweeted out a toolkit or a step-by-step guide in an effort to inspire outrage in India over farmer protests. This was intended for her eyes only, instructing her to draw attention to the issue through various social media measures. Allow me to reiterate, this toolkit, which was not intended for public view, revealed specific dates that Greta was instructed to tweet and to post to Instagram in an effort to inspire outrage in a country where she does not live regarding a cause that she knows little about. Soon, hashtag India Against Propaganda began trending, backed by prominent Indians who were sickened by what they believed to be a globalist effort to destabilize their country. Sound familiar? Of course, anyone with a thinking brain recognized that Greta was a propagandist long before her Twitter mistake, but unfortunately, the left seemed to have put away their thinking brains while Donald Trump was in office. Completely blinded by their obsession with hating Trump, any person that stood in accordance to the orange man bad philosophy was instantly elevated as a hero, absent any further analysis. And so Greta, who asserted herself explicitly against Trump, flew under their radar. Even the more contemptible dregs of our society, murderers, rapists even, were held in high esteem if they could be used to lambast Trump. Speaking of criminals, Governor Andrew Cuomo, you might recall, was last year awarded an Emmy for his performance in, I kid you not, press briefings related to the coronavirus. And if Emmys are awarded to actors, then this one was well-deserved because, as it would turn out, Cuomo's office was actively hiding the true COVID-19 death count in nursing homes, all the while he publicly performed the part of a corona superhero. And so, hashtag Cuomo lied, hashtag Greta Thunberg exposed. And perhaps therein lies the magic of a world without President Trump. Because without Trump, there is, well, no Trump. No person to inexplicably blame everything on. No person for the left to be united in their hatred against. A world without Trump is a world in which the left is forced to face itself, to see the many hideous features of its own ideology. Features like hypocrisy, dishonesty, and unbound hatred. Features like a well-funded poster child from Sweden who was motivated to sail across the Atlantic not for a love of climate, but as a pawn for money and power. Features like a New York governor who, rather maniacally, penned a book in honor of his brave approach to a global pandemic, all the while instructing his staff to bury the death count. So friends, Americans, countrymen, lend me your ears and welcome to Candace. Thanks for joining me on this segment of Candace, and a special thank you is due to Cardi B for helping to make the debut of Candace more popular than we ever dreamed was possible. Truly, Cardi B, thank you. If you liked this podcast, be sure to subscribe and leave us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. To watch or listen to the full show, become a member at dailywire.com/subscribe and use code CARDI for 25% off your new membership.